Welcome back to Cozy Forest Fables. Before we begin today's story, I want you to do something for me. Take a deep breath, let your shoulders drop, feel the weight of whatever you've been carrying today. Good, because today's tale is about something much harder than any adventure, finding peace in a world that never stops moving. This is the story of a capybara who discovered that the answers she'd been searching for were waiting in the quiet reflection of her own heart. This is The Capybara and the Still Water. By the edge of a great river that flowed ceaselessly toward the sea, there lived a capybara named Serena. She had soft brown fur, kind eyes, and a gentle nature that made all the other animals love her company. But Serena did not feel peaceful. Despite her name, her mind was like the river itself, constantly moving, never still, always rushing towards somewhere else. Every morning, she would wake with her thoughts already racing. What should she do today? Had she made the right choice yesterday? Why did she feel this tightness in her chest? What was wrong with her? The other capybaras seemed so content, lounging by the riverside. But when Serena tried to rest, her mind would churn like the river's current, worries about the future, regrets about the past, confusion about feelings she couldn't quite name. She tried to find answers everywhere. She asked Heron, who said, "Stay busy, keep moving." So Serena kept busy, but the busyness only made her more exhausted, not more peaceful. She asked Howler Monkey, who shouted, "Stop questioning everything." But Serena couldn't stop. The thoughts came unbidden, like the river's current, relentless and overwhelming. One day, feeling particularly overwhelmed, Serena wandered further than usual. She followed a small stream through tall reeds and under low-hanging willows, and quite suddenly she emerged into a hidden clearing. In the center was a pond, but this was unlike the river she knew. The river was always moving, always changing, its surface choppy with current and wind. This pond was perfectly, utterly still. Serena approached slowly. The water was so clear, so calm that it looked like a mirror made of liquid glass. She could see every detail of the sky reflected in its surface. And there, in the center, she saw herself. But something was different. In the rushing river, she could barely see herself. The water was too turbulent, too distorted. Here, in the stillness, she could see herself clearly for the first time. Serena sat down at the water's edge, transfixed. She looked into her own eyes, and for a moment, she felt something shift inside her. A small space opened up between her thoughts, like a breath between words. At first, sitting still was almost painful. Within moments, her mind began its usual torrent. But then, she noticed something. When these thoughts arose, the water seemed to ripple, as if responding to the turbulence inside her. She watched a single ripple spread across the surface, distorting her reflection. And then, slowly, the water settled again. The reflection returned, clear and true. Serena began visiting the pond every day, and as she gazed into the stillness, she began to notice things she'd never stopped long enough to see. She noticed that beneath the anxiety and the regrets, there was sadness, an old sadness about a sibling who had left the riverside. In the rushing river of her daily life, she'd never stopped long enough to feel it. But here, in the stillness, she could see it clearly, and somehow seeing it didn't make it worse, it made it manageable, real. Something she could hold gently instead of running from. On another visit, a dragonfly landed on the surface, creating tiny ripples that spread and faded, spread and faded. "Even disturbances pass," she whispered, "if I let them." She realized her thoughts were like that dragonfly. They would come, create ripples, but if she didn't chase them, didn't fight them, they would eventually lift off again, leaving the water calm once more. As the seasons changed, the pond taught different lessons. On rainy days, when droplets struck the surface creating endless overlapping circles, she learned she didn't have to fight her feelings. She could let them be, and they would pass in their own time. On foggy mornings, when she couldn't see her reflection at all, she learned about uncertainty. Some days, the answers wouldn't come, and that was okay too. But the most profound lesson came on a perfectly still, clear morning. Serena sat at the water's edge and looked into her reflection. This time, she wasn't searching for answers or trying to understand her feelings. She was simply present. And in that moment of pure presence, she saw something remarkable. Her reflection looked back at her with complete acceptance. No judgment, no criticism, no demand to be different, just gentle recognition. And she realized this was how she needed to look at herself. Not with harsh scrutiny, but with the same gentle stillness as the pond. "The clarity I've been seeking," she whispered, "isn't about having all the answers. It's about being still enough to accept what is." Serena returned to the riverside transformed. The river still rushed past, just as loud and chaotic as before. The world hadn't changed, but Serena had. When anxious thoughts arose now, and they still did, she didn't fight them. She would pause, find that small space of stillness inside herself, and watch the thoughts like ripples on water. She would acknowledge them, let them exist, and then return to her breath, to the present moment, to the quiet pond that now lived inside her heart. When other capybaras came to her with their worries, she didn't rush to fix them. Instead, she sat with them in stillness, creating a space of calm where they could hear their own wisdom. "How did you find your peace?" young capybaras would ask her. And Serena would smile and say, "I stopped looking for answers in the noise. I found a still place within myself. When I visit that stillness, when I look at my reflection with kindness instead of judgment, everything becomes clearer." "But what if my mind won't stop racing?" they would ask. "Then you start with just one breath," Serena would reply gently. "One moment of watching your thoughts like ripples on water. Stillness isn't about stopping the thoughts, it's about not being swept away by them." Serena still visits the hidden pond, even now. Not because she needs to find answers there, but because stillness has become her practice, her refuge, her way of honoring the truth that lives within her. In a world that constantly demands we move faster, think quicker, do more, be more, stillness is a radical act. It's a way of saying, "I am enough as I am." Because here's what the still water taught her. Clarity doesn't come from noise or rushing. It comes from stillness, from patience, from the courage to sit with yourself, even when it's hard. Your mind might be like that rushing river right now, loud, turbulent, overwhelming. But somewhere inside you, there's a still pond waiting, a place where you can see yourself clearly and find the peace that's always been there beneath the noise. You just have to be brave enough to be still. Take a breath. Let your shoulders drop. And for just this moment, be still with whatever you're feeling. Don't judge it. Don't fix it. Just notice it like watching ripples on water. That's where clarity begins. What helps you find stillness in your life? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel to support us. Until next time, may you find your still water. And remember, clarity comes from stillness.